Yeah, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Once again, we meet in our parasha portion, which today is Beha'alocha, and we take one subject in this parasha, which is LASHON HARA, evil tongue. And we're going to discuss, because today this is really a topic which is rampant among the believers, and I will explain. So this parasha is very interesting because it goes over different subjects, like the second Passover, the 7 lamps in the tabernacle, the complaining in the desert with the quails, which we can learn a lot here also. But we're going to limit our discussion today to the LASHON HARA. LASHON HARA, or the evil tongue, evil tongue. You see, the evil tongue is something we should understand in order to be, not to be among those who practice the LASHON HARA. And LASHON HARA is found in the nature of man, as I'm going to show you here in the book of Bereshit. In Genesis, we're going to see chapter 6, we can see the LASHON HARA and something that we should learn. And as chapter 6, Bereshit chapter 6, verse 5, it is about the coming of the flood to destroy mankind. And we soon should learn that. And we read, okay, Vayar Yehovah ki rava ra'at ha'adam ba'aretz v'chol yetzer ma shevo libo chak ra kol hayom. We have two words here. Is Yetzer and Ra. Yetzer and Ra. Yetzer can be translated as a inclination, imagination. And we see that it is part of our nefesh. We have the balance with since the rebellion of Adam and Chava, who ate from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Good is Tov, evil is Cha. Yetzer Tov, Yetzer Cha. Good inclination, evil inclination. This is a foundation which comes from the rebellion of Adam and Chava. Is to be found in every creature under the heavens, in every man, because they are the fathers of the humanity. There is no other. It's Adam and Chava. So, when they rebel, they were kicked out from Gan Eden. And in their component, it is part of the tree they ate. They ate of the tree of good and evil. So we have the Yetzer Tov and Yetzer Ra. So that is the nature of man. Now, in the parasha from today, it is very interesting. The story is about Miriam, as I read. And Miriam and Aaron spoke against Moshe because of the Cushite woman whom he had married, for he had married a Cushite woman. Okay, that was a problem to them. Was it a problem to Elohim? No, we don't have any information that this marriage was a problem to Elohim, but it was a problem to Miriam and Aaron. So they began to discuss that not with Moshe, but within themselves. They discuss that. And here's the problem. Because if we play this game, then we are in a dangerous ground. Why it is so? Because Elohim do not want that. He doesn't want. He doesn't want. Do not be a talebearer. This is written in the in the Torah. Let me see if I can find rapidly for you, and so that we understand. I will see. Okay. No, I don't have it here. I will see if I know the word. Okay. In Psalm 34 we read, "Keep thy tongue from evil, thy lips from speaking guile." Yeah. So it is very important to understand that, because if we don't master our evil inclination, we will be subject to the flesh. The flesh, excuse me, the flesh is driven by the Yetzer Hara, the evil inclination. The inner man, the Nefesh, which include the Ruach, the Neshama, and much more, but not in our level, because the Nefesh is composed of five parts, which is the Nefesh, the Ruach, the Chaya, and the Yechida. Yechida is the highest level of the Nefesh, which was only attained by Yeshua. Okay? So we are in the level of Neshama, and the Neshama connect earth through Mashiach, or through Yeshua, I will not say Mashiach, through Yeshua, to the Father in heaven. Okay? So now, when we speak, we have to be careful, because we read in the book of Matthew that we will be judged by every word we speak. Okay, Matthew 12, 36, 37. So, but it seems that we don't have the conscience of that, and that we easily fall into talking against brethren, against this. This does not mean that we have to agree with everybody. No, not so. But we need to be careful of what we speak and how we speak. I know I can speak for my brethren in the Philippines, because I spent 3 years there, and I know the mentality. I have been in a different assembly, and every assembly think of themselves that they are better than others, either because they have a name, because of different things, and they like publicly in the assembly to mock others. It goes so far that they also mock others' assembly in the radio. Some have radio programs, and they mock others. They don't know that they bring judgment on themselves by doing so. They don't know. And it's not only the leaders, because those who go there and attend this assembly are also under the leadership, under the head. They are not the head. The head is the one who leads the assembly. So we see the consequence that Miriam was covered with what is written leprosy. It's not a real leprosy, but it was a plague given by Elohim in order that everyone may see that something has been done, especially LASHON HARA. And because Moshe interceded on her behalf, she was put outside for 7 days, and before to be restored. You may say today, we don't have this, we don't have leprosy, we don't have, yeah. Today we have a shift since Mashiach came, since Yeshua came. I will explain why I don't say Mashiach. Since Yeshua came, we have a shift. If you read in 1 Corinthians 15, Shaul explained that the first Adam is of the flesh. Okay? The first Adam is of the flesh. But the last Adam is a life-giving spirit. So here is a change. We have the two nature in us. We have the nature of the first Adam, after the flesh. And when we walk in the Torah, we have the second nature, which is nature given to us through Yeshua, the last Adam, a life-giving spirit. So we have a battle within us. Does it Shaul explain that? You can read. Shaul explain. We have the battle within us between the flesh and the spirit. This is why Shaul say, walk in the spirit, and you should not fulfill the desire of the flesh. Question is, how do I walk in the spirit? And he will explain you, to walk in the spirit is very simple. Very, very simple. To walk in the spirit is not something mystical or, to walk in the spirit is to walk in the Torah. It's to walk in the Torah. When I walk in the Torah, with all my ability, with all my heart, then I walk in the spirit. And he says, if you walk in the spirit, you shall not fulfill the desire of the flesh. You see? And the desire of flesh is many. It's manifold, many forms. So, and inside the flesh is the LASHON HARA, evil tongue. So if I want, first of all, if I have caught myself into LASHON HARA, I shall make tshuva. I shall repent. Repent is not exactly the way it is understood in Hebrew. Tshuva is to change the direction, to turn to the good way. I am on the wrong way, I turn to the good way. Tshuva is to return to the good way. And the good way is the Torah. So I say, I have to confess that I was wrong by speaking evil. And it's happened many times. It's happened to everyone, that we speak LASHON HARA. So we should be careful. Because we are commanded to pray for one another, not to speak against one another, but to pray for one another. So here, this parasha shows us that Elohim do not want, he doesn't want to see his children speaking against one another. We don't have to agree with one another, but this doesn't give us the authority to speak against one another. Yes, we can rebuke. But if I rebuke a brother or sister, I will go to her personally and I will speak to her. There is a way to do it. Okay? There is a way to do it. And by the way, we should know that, it's only because of the goodness of Elohim that we are now reconciled with him. It's not us. It is Elohim who has reconciled us unto himself through Yeshua, not we ourselves. We have no power. We have no authority. We were lost in the world. Without Yeshua, we were lost outside the commonwealth, outside the covenant. And it's only through Yeshua that we have been reconciled. So we should be humble. We should understand that we don't have any power in ourselves. You see, when we read the Brit Chadashah, we should be aware that we have taken a book that is not ours. It doesn't belong to us. It doesn't belong to us. It belongs to Yehuda, our brother from Yehuda. And all the speakers there, they are from Yehuda. And we know that Benjamin, the tribe of Shaul, at this time, was part of Yehuda. He was part. So when we read, we should be very humble and not to think that we have any right. No. This book has come to us because of the rebellion of Judah, but not because we deserve anything. So, my brother and sister, when you read the parasha, it is a must. If you want to see your life be transformed and changed, we need to read the parasha every week, as it is written in the book of Acts, chapter 15. You can read that for yourself. It is written that the Torah of Moshe is read every Shabbat in the assembly, every Shabbat. So, it's not a choice. It's not, we don't come to pick and choose. We have responsibility. Shaul explain and say, I beseech you, brethren, do not be conformed to this world, but be you transformed by the renewing of your mind. The question is, how can I be transformed? The mind is something which is part of the nefesh. It's not part of our bazar, our flesh. It's part of our nefesh. The nefesh is the real person. The real person is in a body. What we see from one another, the bazar, it's just a clothing for the nefesh. Clothing to live on this earth is a clothing.
Is the nefesh who drive the bazar?
Yeah, it's a nefesh. Yeah, exactly. The nefesh is driving the bazar. The bazar is there. How do we know that? Because we know that the person who dies, his flesh, go back to the earth. It is earthly. It has nothing, has no value. And Shaul said another way, he said, flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of Elohim. We cannot approach the kingdom of Elohim by the flesh and the blood. Okay? So, we have to go back to the position we had before Adam sinned. And this is only possible through Yeshua. Through Yeshua, no other way. Now, this is why we need to understand, if I don't study the Torah, I am a rebellious child. Rebellious child. I can do whatever I want. Yes, we have the free choice. But if I go to an assembly and I see the leader who is not teaching the Torah, but make a sermon to make a...
Christianity.
It's outside the covenant. Outside the covenant. Outside the covenant. Okay? So my brother and sister, if you want to be free from all man's doctrine, study the Torah. Study the Torah for yourself. Hang to somebody who knows better than yourself. Myself, I do it. I go to others who know better than me. I want to learn, not on my own, but I pray. I pray to Elohim to send people across my way to help me to grow. To grow. And this I do since more than 20 years. And I do with my wife, we do it with our household. We don't rely on ourselves. Because on ourselves we know nothing. So I encourage you to pray for guidance in your choice. If your assembly is not teaching you Torah, it's not your place. It's not your place. You may say whatever you want. I don't have any person in mind. I say assembly. Whoever is leading this assembly. If they don't teach the Torah, it's just a game. It's just a game. It brings you nowhere. Because it is written, meditate on it day and night. Meditate on what? The words Jehovah spoke to the children of Israel, the Torah. Meditate on it day and night. if the leader do not teach you the Torah, he doesn't do anything for you, for himself. But he will have to deal with that the day of retribution. But we ourselves, we need to know what we are doing. We're adults, so we have to choose. So I will stop here, and I encourage you to, you read the book of Yaakov. Yeah, Yaakov explained about the tongue. The tongue is a very small...
James, the book of James.
Yeah, James. It's a very small muscle, but it gives life and death. In Proverbs it is written, life and death are on the power of the tongue. Yeah? On the power of the tongue. With the tongue we can kill, and with the tongue we can bless. Same at the same time. So we need to be very careful what we are speaking. I will go back. I will go to the book of Yaakov because it is very powerful. Yaakov, James. You see? And I will just look. I will. Let me see.
Chapter 2.
Yeah, we'll see. Just wait. Let me speak about the faith of Abraham. Okay. My brethren, be not many masters.
Why are you?
It's chapter 3, verse 1. Knowing that we shall receive the greater condemnation. For in many things we offend all. If any man offend not in word, the same is a perfect man, able also to bridle the whole body. Behold, we put bits in the horse's mouth, that they may obey us, and we turn about their whole body. By driving horses, when you put we put something in the mouth of the horses, and when we press right, he turn right, left, he turn left. Okay. Behold, he makes second comparison with also the ships, which though they be so great, and are driven of fierce wind, at this time it was no motor, yet are they turned about with a very small helm, whithersoever the governor lists. It's very small in comparison to the ship itself. Even so the tongue is a little member, and boasted great thing. Behold, a greater matter, a little fire candle. And the tongue is a fire, a word of iniquity. So is the tongue among our members, that he defiled the whole body, and setteth on fire the course of nature, and it is set on fire of Gehinnom. For every kind of beast, and of bird, and of serpent, and of things in the sea is tame, and has been tame of mankind. But the tongue can no man tame, an unruly evil, Ra, full of deadly poison. Therewith bless we Elohim, even the Father, and therewith curse we men, which are made after the similitude of Elohim. Out of the same mouth proceed blessing and cursing. My brethren, these things are not so to be. Does a fountain send forth at the same place sweet and bitter water? Can the fig tree, my brethren, bear olive berries, either wine figs? So no fountain both yields salt water and fresh. Okay. Thus is spoken by Yaakov, first century. Yaakov, James, was a brother from our Adon, our master Yeshua. This is what he speaks about the tongue. He's speaking because this is about the LASHON HARA, what we read in the PARASHAH BEHA'ALOCHA. Okay? So, pray for that. If we have done that, we should make tshuva. Ask Yehovah to forgive us and to help us to work and not to reproduce this LASHON HARA, this evil tongue. Because if today we don't have the leprosy on our body, our soul is affected by our tongue. If you want to see blessing in our life, begin to speak blessing unto others, not to judge others. Okay? As I said before, we can rebuke somebody, but we are not here to talk and to speak and to go to others and transport LASHON HARA about this one and this one and this one. That's not the way. Unfortunately, it is frequent. It is really often among the believers and among the assemblies. If you are part of this assembly, then you should think what you have to do. Okay? So
because we're speaking about that LASHON HARA, so it was related to our parsha today concerning
the action of Miriam and Aaron.
Yeah. So you have spoken in the beginning, right?
Yes.
About Miriam.
Yeah, Miriam was fall because she didn't like the woman her brother Moshe has married, but she has not the authority. Sephora was a Cushite. Okay, Cushite were not. Cushite were from from Ham. Okay, so but Elohim do not say anything. The Torah tells us that Jehovah spoke with Moshe face to face. Face to face. Okay, he didn't need anybody. He took Moshe and he spoke to him straight.
So the question there, because she didn't like the wife of Moshe as a sister,
Yeah.
As a sister, because she's a pagan woman. So it is written we cannot have a pagan, but we don't know the heart of the Midian.
We don't know this Cushite. We don't know how she was.
Yeah, this is why
we don't have any information.
Because you see, like Ruth, this is a Moabite, so she was accepted in the, but one kindred of Boaz she was not accepted. She was not. He didn't redeem Naomi because of Ruth, but this time it is Boaz who understood that he saw the heart of the Ruth. But with Miriam, she was angry with his brother. He speak bad words to his brother concerning the wife, Sisa.
And don't forget that Miriam, she was a prophetess. Okay, she was a prophetess, and she go to her other brother Aaron, because he was a brother. So Aaron, Moshe, and Miriam were siblings.
From the Levites.
They are from the same father. So she went to the other brother to speak against Moshe, because they had also revelation and they were used by Elohim. It doesn't matter. Moshe was above them. He was above them. He was chosen by Elohim. He didn't choose himself. If you remember, if you have read the story from the book of Shemot, you will see that he didn't choose it. He didn't even want it. It is Elohim who told you, you have no choice. I do that. Okay? You will be my instrument. You see, Moshe was very humble. It is written in the parasha from today. He was very meek, very patient. So it is only to blame is only Miriam and Aaron. Okay? So we should be very, very careful, and we should check our life every single day. Every single day we should check our life. In the evening, before we go to sleep, we should check our life before Elohim. And if we have sinned, we should ask the Father to forgive us. We should ask the Father to forgive us, because we have an advocate before us. It's Yeshua. Okay? So, brother and sister, let us take it seriously not to speak evil against the brethren. And when you see a wrong behavior in the assembly, just pray. Don't go to others to tell them a story.
To ride on.
Okay.
To ride on and to spread to spread the bad.
He will come. He will come. He will come alone. He will come alone. Jehovah is the judge of all men, and he will see. And he starts first with the assembly. But what is for us, we need, if I go to an assembly and I hear the people talking against another assembly, it's not a good place. It's not a good place. So just think about that and pray. Pray for guidance. Pray to Elohim. Okay? It's better to spend time during the Shabbat at home with the husband, with the children, with eventually another family who join, than to go in assembly where it is evil spoken. That is better. It's better to say.
The presence of Elohim is not there.
You can be sure there is no presence of Elohim.
Because Elohim
where evil is spoken against another assembly,
light.
there is no presence of Elohim. Okay? Think about that.
We have to understand what is the presence, because if you say the presence of Elohim it is a full of light.
Yeah.
So it must be no single darkness.
Yeah.
Because if we have to relate that in the tabernacle.
Mm-hmm.
The tabernacle is because if you bring a strange fire,
it's finished.
you are consumed. You are spiritually dead.
The children from Aaron were destroyed, were killed because of a strange fire. So we need to understand that we also have to be kadosh. That is the parasha kedoshim. Be kadosh because I am kadosh. Reason Yehovah wants us to be kadosh is because He is kadosh. So Shaul said, light and darkness cannot work together. Kadosh. If you are kadosh, you work with Elohim. If we are not kadosh, we are separate from Elohim until we repent and we change our attitude. It's not the end of the story. I don't say that. I don't say that you lose your salvation or that. No. I said that we have to be conform to the Torah. Conform to the Torah. Because we are called to be in the image of Yeshua. We are called to be in the image of Yeshua. It is the word of Yohanan in 1 Yohanan. He said that when Yeshua come back, we should see Him as He is and shall be transformed in His likeness. What does it mean? It's not like to be transformed physically. It is spiritually. Spiritually we will be transformed in the likeness of Yeshua. But that's not magic. Not everyone will be transformed. If we rebel and do what Elohim do not want, how can we be transformed? We have to run the race in order to attain the goal, what is set before us. So this is very important. So brother and sister, take the Torah. The Torah this week is full of words to lift up and not to pull down. Okay? So how to be kadosh? With the menorah, which is a light in the tabernacle, with the lamp and the menorah, with the consecration of the Levites. So we have to learn all these things. We have to learn and to understand why it is so. We were discussing yesterday from a word of Shaul, who said that the Torah is a shadow of the things to come. If we just imagine our shadows when we go into the sun, we have a shadow. Is the shadow different from ourselves? No. The shadow reflects exactly what we are, but we don't see ourselves. When Shaul said that the Torah is the shadow of the good things to come, he means that the Torah reveal the things to come which have not been revealed now. But for us, it is revealed through Yeshua. Because everything we read in the Torah is related to Yeshua. Everything. from Noah, from Adam to Abel, to Noah, to Yaakov, to David, all what Joseph, all what we read is directly related to Yeshua. We just need to have the right glasses in order to see that. And then the shadow disappear and we see the reality of things. Okay, so think about that. When I read the Torah, I read and I pray for revelation knowledge, for discernment, for understanding. These are the words that you can find in the prayer of Shaul. When he pray, I pray. I would like to find this. Let me look if I found it. Let me see. In the. Let me see. I will. He speak about. If you go to, we have a very beautiful prayer from Shaul in the book of Colossians that reflect the spirit of holiness. He said here in Colossians chapter 1, he say in verse 8 and 9 and to 10, okay, he say, we who also declare unto us your love in the Ruach, in the Spirit, for this cause we also, since the day we heard, do not cease to pray for you and to desire that you may be filled with the knowledge of His will in all wisdom and spiritual understanding, that you might walk worthy of Jehovah unto all pleasing, being fruitful in every good work, increasing in the knowledge of Elohim, strengthened with all might according to the glorious power, unto all patience and all suffering with joyfulness. This prayer is an Hebrew prayer. It's not English, Tagalog, or whatever, French, German. It's a Hebrew prayer. And when they say here, and this cause we also since the day we heard, do not cease to pray for you, to that they may be filled with the knowledge. Knowledge is da'at in Hebrew, of His will, in all wisdom, ochma, and spiritual understanding, binah. All these are called emanation of Elohim, the Godhead. Emanation. You can feel that, you can see that in Proverbs many times. Okay? If I go to Proverbs, and we go there, Proverbs, chapter 1, you see. The Proverbs Shlomo, the son of David, king of Israel, to know wisdom, instruction, to perceive the word of understanding, you see. To receive the instruction of wisdom, justice and judgment, and equity, to give subtlety to the same, to the human knowledge and discretion. A wise will hear and will increase learning, and a man of understanding shall attend unto wise counsel. To understand the proverb and the interpretation, the words of the wise and their dark saying. Dark saying, this means these are a deep saying, something that we cannot see in the first. The fear of Jehovah is the beginning of knowledge. Fools despise wisdom and instruction. You see, all is a Hebrew concept. We need to understand that. And we need to pray. Father, I pray for wisdom and understanding. The fruit of wisdom and understanding is knowledge. I repeat, the fruit of wisdom and understanding is knowledge. You see? Wisdom, understanding, knowledge. This is how it works. This knowledge is not knowledge of the world. This knowledge is a higher knowledge, which comes from the Father of light. It doesn't come from man. So we need to understand. We need to pray for that. Father, I want to understand. I pray for wisdom. Wisdom which is from you, which comes from you. That I may grow in understanding and in the perfect knowledge of your will. This is what we have to pray. If we do that, not one time, We can pray that every day, and beg our Father to make us grow. Then we will be able to remove from us all that entangle us in the worldly affairs, in the worldly things, in order to focus on what the goal that is before us, and that is in Yeshua. Okay? So, I will close here. I let this word to you. You can read it. You can meditate on it. You can pray. Pray, because now is the time. We are living in a season that many of us will see the coming back of Yeshua. Yeshua will come back as a Mashiach ben David. He will come back as a Mashiach. That is the position he will have. He will come back in the power of Yehovah. He will be the word of Yehovah in all the earth. Every knee will bow down to him. Amen. We need to understand that. So we have to prepare ourselves to be ready for that, to become the worthy of our call. And this is really, I tell you, this is a time. One day I want to make a video for you to understand that if you are waiting for the Antichrist, you are misled. If you are waiting for the Antichrist to come, you are misled. So, it's a serious matter, because it will come in a way that many do not expect. Many do not expect. Be ready. Be ready in your heart first. And it's a serious matter. I don't know if you will watch the video to the end, but this is something which is very serious. Don't listen to the people who tell you, oh, we have to wait first that the Antichrist come, that he establish himself in Jerusalem, that the temple will be rebuilt. First of all, it's written nowhere. And what he's speaking about, Antichrist, has been misunderstood. So, you will see that everything will take place, but not in this way, not in the way that is presented by Christianity. Okay? So, that's all for today. I wish you, for those who are still in the Shabbat, a blessed Shabbat. For our brand in the Philippines, now it's, I think, very soon, you will close the Shabbat. So, as we say, Shavua Tov. May Yehovah bless you and keep you, and be people of truth. Walk in this coming week with a heart disposed for good and not for evil, and you will see the blessing from above. Shalom, and see you next time.